Hello there and welcome to Good Morning Sri Lanka on this the 10th of December, and you're with me, Harith. We have a wonderful show coming up with 15 more days for Christmas. Can't wait for those wonderful days. Not more than 2 weeks and just 1 day. So wonderful news for all those awaiting Christmas. And we have a wonderful show about a prank call gone wrong, about making houses in China, about a certain celebrity who's into the very celebrity in the clergy, tweeting and etc. and all that. A very decisive week for Sri Lanka as well, because on the 14th judgment is coming from the Supreme Court with regard to whether the petition has been to be allowed or not with regard to the impeachment of the Chief Justice. So I would dare say that this week is a very, very decisive one, whether this clash between the legislative and the judiciary will come to that ultimate come down or not. Anyway, we have a couple of interesting stories coming up. The first one being what happened with William and Kate. We had a discussion about William and Kate and their wonderful baby news. The kid, the third successor to the royal throne, has been announced, and everyone knows that he or she will be the third successor. But something sad happened with regard to this. There was a prank call that happened, and two Australian hosts made a little call to the hospital and made a little joke. It was really funny because they pretended to be the Queen Mother and Prince Charles, and to inquire as to the health of Kate Middleton. And it certainly did go wrong, in the sense that this poor lady has befallen some very unfortunate news, in the sense that she has passed away. There's speculation as to what has in fact happened, but let's take a look at this clip and return.
We don't want to cause any trouble.
The world's media is being camped outside the central London hospital, where the Duchess of Cambridge has been treated since the news of her pregnancy was announced, awaiting for any update on her condition. But the scoop came from thousands of miles away and on the other side of the world, where little-known two-day FM DJs Mel Gregg and Michael Christian made a prank call to the King Edward VII Hospital. The duo managed to convince staff they were the Queen and Prince Charles, and found themselves connected through to Kate's private nurse.
Hello, good morning, King Edward VII Hospital.
Oh, hello there. Could I please speak to Kate, please, my granddaughter?
Oh, yes, just hold on, ma'am.
Thank you.
Are they putting us through?
Yes.
If this has worked, it's the easiest prank call we've ever made. Your accent sucked, by the way. I just want you to know.
I'm not used to playing old 80-year-olds.
What about this one?
Kate, my darling, are you there?
Good morning, ma'am. This is the nurse speaking. How may I help you?
Hello, I'm just after my granddaughter, Kate. I want to see how her little tummy bug is going.
Mummy!
She's sleeping at the moment, and she has had an uneventful night. And sleep is good for her as we speak. She's been getting some fluids to rehydrate her, because she was quite dehydrated when she came in. But she's stable at the moment.
Okay, I'll just feed my little corgis then. So when is a good time to come and visit her? Because I'm the Queen, so I need a lift down there. Prince Charles!
Mummy, is everything okay?
Oh, wait, my Charles, when can you take me to the hospital, Charles?
When will it be all right to come down and see her? Maybe in the morning or something, if that's okay.
I would suggest that any time after 9 o'clock would be suitable, because the doctor will be in the morning.
Okay.
And we'll just be getting her freshened up in the morning. I would think any time after 9.
Wonderful. And is Wills still there? Has he gone home? I haven't spoken to him yet.
He went home at about 9:30 actually probably about 9 o'clock last night.
Okay. Lovely. But they're all okay? Everything's all right?
Yes, she's quite stable at the moment. She hasn't had any retching with me since I've been on duty, and she has been sleeping on and off.
Wonderful.
I think it's difficult sleeping in a strange bed as well.
Yes, of course. It's hardly the palace, is it?
It's nothing like the palace, is it, Charles?
No.
And when are you going to walk those bloody corgis?
Mumsy, I'll go and take the dogs outside.
I need to go visit Kate in the morning. My dear, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
The hospital.
Well, there we have it. An absolutely hilarious prank, of course. The only issue being the end result was that the nurse who was on the phone, in fact, passed away. and the speculation has been that she would have passed away possibly by the humiliation that she suffered because of the fact that she was involved in this prank, and there are allegations that it was a suicide. So that humor involved in the prank certainly died down with that issue, and William and Kate issuing a statement was shocked and said it is a lady of South Indian origin and a very good nurse. So indeed bit of an issue there, because the prank, of course, I suppose went wrong. There are pranks that go wrong, and sometimes when you laugh you must also think about the consequences of what happens. Well, I don't think anyone would have thought this happened, and these two presenters have been banned for now in the Australian media as well until a hearing is taken, and they have also apologized to the English public as a whole as to what has happened. But I must say, not a very clever nurse, because that was a very easy accent to realize that it was not the Queen Mother. Of course, we are going into another story about house building in China. It's interesting. Some people want to build their house where they want to build their house. Recently, there was a news article that countries can indeed spend $1.5 billion and get their own area to build outer space. So very interesting there. But here, the story we have is about a Chinese man building his house in a certain area that the Chinese officials are not very happy about. Let's take a look.
Home is on a highway for one stubborn farmer in eastern China. He's refusing to leave his home to make way for a new road. In China, it's called a nail house. It's a building that stands alone after others have been demolished, and it is almost certainly hammered down in the end. But don't say that to 67-year-old Liu Baozhen.
This is not a nail house. How can this be a nail house? What I want is for the government to build another similar home for me. I don't want their money. If the country needs my land, I should leave.
He says he never wanted any trouble, just a place to call home.
What can I do? I was born here. It's fine if the government buries me here. I won't move if they only give me the money they have offered me.
The road has been completed, but it's not open to traffic yet. Liu says if he's not compensated properly, he plans to stay on.
Well, that's a fantastic story there. As you can see, that house right in the middle of the road. It reminds us about what happened in Sri Lanka with the Southern Highway. When the Southern Highway was made, there were a lot of people who had to move out because of the Southern Highway, and they were compensated by the government. Under Sri Lankan laws, the Land Acquisition Act provides for compensation, and the government can actually make you move. And now this man, it seems he has had a choice whether he can move, whether he should stay or take the compensation. So he has said, your compensation is not adequate, I will stay in my house, and they built the highway. Strange to see. I mean, people talk about the Chinese being not so democratic, but it seems that the man's rights have been respected. So very interesting story there, as you can see that house, and I suppose the best alternative he can take is to take the compensation and go and build his house somewhere else, because soon I suppose the foundation of that house will be collapsing, because there will be so many accidents coming onto that road, especially in the night. Well, when it comes to famous personalities, one famous website that we have other than Facebook, actually much better than Facebook, is Twitter. On Twitter, you get a lot of famous celebrities who you can talk to, and you can actually tweet them. Barack Obama being one of the famous personalities who tweets, then Ellen DeGeneres and Oprah, anyone. You can talk to your cricketers, your music fans, anyone. And Twitter is one of those places where there's a big connection between people. And of course here we have one famous personality. In fact, we're rated as the 6th most powerful man on earth, Pope Benedict, who is also on Twitter. And let's have a look at this story about what he tweets about.
Is it possible to keep biblical teachings and papal encyclicals to 140 characters? Pope Benedict XVI hopes so. The Holy One will begin tweeting December 12th in 6 different languages from his @Pontifax account in a Q&A format. The Pope will tweet as often as he wants, according to a Vatican official, and Pontifax was chosen as his handle because it means Pope and also bridge builder in Latin. The Vatican hopes its elevated social media push will help spread the Catholic faith, especially among young people. Alas, those curious about papal breakfast habits and sports team preferences will be disappointed. The account will focus exclusively on spiritual matters.
Well, there we have it. The Pope is going to have a Twitter account starting December, exclusively going to focus on spiritual matters. I wonder what other matters that the Pope would want to tweet about? I just can't think. Interestingly, of course, it's very what they said at the beginning. How can you limit scriptural teachings to 150 characters? Well, I guess the Pope will have to start using sign language, and not sign language, anonym, those little words that he can use, the to and GTG for got to go and etc. It will be very interesting to see how the Bible can be put into Twitter. But of course, there is also the other issue where on Twitter you do have a lot of other personalities who are not so very good, posting explicit content, etc. Alcohol, sex, everything also goes on Twitter as well. So it might be an issue where we have the Pope and maybe some person who's anti-Pope actually following the Pope as well. We'll go into a short commercial break and be back on Good Morning Sri Lanka.